So Bob made the trip from California?
Yeah.
Where in California are you guys?
San Francisco, basically. Yeah, right in the Bay Area.
Okay, well, that's all.
I actually live in the city, but we're close. Yeah.
So Bob Phillips, P&S. I never in a million years would have thought that I'd be standing here with a P&S product. I've told this story. We were just talking about this off camera. I've told this story a bunch about how it just never. I don't know. Maybe I was afraid of the detail mafia, because you're affiliated with. I was afraid of it.
Yeah.
Because those are the guys that beat me up in high school or pushed me into a locker, and so I just never considered the product. And it seems a little odd that I've been sharing products that I've been using for the last 10, 12, however many years I've been living on this earth. And Obsessed Garage has been this culmination of all this knowledge and all this trial and error. And Levi, the rag company, shows me this product, and bingo bango, it's in my store. And then people are losing their minds saying, what does Matt jump the shark?
Right.
What the heck is going on here? And my argument, and the reason why I called you and said, hey, I need to buy some pallets of this stuff, is I tried it. You saw the video, fumbled through the application, so we're going to talk a little bit about application and how to do this properly. It was raining, 100% humidity. I knew that humidity could be a little more difficult to work with because everything's difficult to work with. It was the evening, and yet I came out the next morning and the darn truck looks insane, and it was on top of a coating, and so the product just looked different. And it checked the boxes of what I was looking for. I want something that I could put on a coating, something I could put on a wax, something I could put on a sealant, so I don't have to have 37 different processes around using it. Now, I have experienced this does take more effort to put on than some of these other, certainly a detail spray that really doesn't add anything. But I think, the whole MO of Obsessed Garage and how we do it is to build a process, and that process is never easy. And so I think the application, and you're going to teach us a little bit how to do this properly, but the application of the product, even if it is a little more difficult, the result is worth the effort. So let's back up a little bit. Tell me a little bit about the, where did the product come from?
Right.
How did you guys craft it? You guys make this stuff. There's no like
nobody else
you're buying it and putting your label on it kind of thing, right? So tell me that story. The story
is similar to you saying that, you worked with products for 10 years and all of a sudden you found this product and you jumped on it. It's a little similar with Bead Maker because, we've had, plenty of products in this category, the mist and white category, if we call them. My brother actually made it, told me about it, and set a bottle in my office and said, Bob, you should really check this out. But I didn't for 2 years.
So when would this, what time frame?
So that was about, 2014.
Okay.
So 2014 approximately. He brought a picture home that's actually this picture. Mm-hmm. This was taken on his vehicle out front of his house in the morning. Mm-hmm. So we do a lot of fun things where we try and use images on bottles this is factual. This was just taken with the iPhone out front in 2014 or so. He goes, look what this is doing on the car.
Right.
I said, okay, it's great. We don't need that product.
Same exact reaction.
I said, I don't need it.
Levi's showing me, I was like, whatever, bro.
I don't need it, right? And so it wasn't until we went to work with Rennie to develop the double black line. Mm-hmm. My brother says, well, I'm going to bring, it wasn't called Bead Maker. We didn't even really have a name for it. So I'm bringing this stuff. And so we literally did a car at lunch. Right before lunch, we did the car. Rennie says, can you do it wet? Can you do it dry? And Dave says, well, you can do it wet, but it's better if you do it dry. Mm-hmm. So we split the car, right? Mm-hmm. So we put it on the car, and Rennie goes, wow, that's nice. That's really slick. That's pretty cool. And it was a white car, so I wasn't that impressed. Mm-hmm. I just looked at it and went, oh, that's pretty nice.
So you guys have a detailing business too?
No.
Okay.
No. So
he just tested products.
We went to his shop. We went to his shop
okay.
and to develop the line, right? Okay. To kind of start this process. Mm-hmm. So we go to lunch, we come back, and Rennie looks at the car and he goes, are you guys looking what I'm looking at? And I look at it and I go, yeah, it looks a little shinier. Mm-hmm. And he says, and Dave goes, well, yeah, that'll happen in like an hour or two. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, Rennie's like, we need this product. And even then, we really didn't know what we had. We just went out casually and said, hey, we got this product. We're going to call it Bead Maker. It's kind of fun. And then literally what happened, Matt, is the industry just took it. we didn't oversell it. We didn't promote it. Guys would go, well, how long does it last? We'd go, oh, 30 days, 60 days. We didn't really, this thing that's happening now with the hype is almost, because we didn't hype anything. We just said, hey, this is a new product. And then the industry ran with it. Professional detailers took it and said, do you know what this product's doing?
So the argument is that we're 2018.
Right.
Product, you bring it to Rennie in 14.
Actually, bring it to Rennie in 16.
Okay.
Yeah, 16.
Bring it to Rennie in 16. It hits the market 2 years ago.
It hit the market in March of 2016.
Okay, so it's been out, and so part of the argument is that, well, it's been out for 2 years now, a year and a half. Why haven't we heard about it?
Because it was gaining that slow momentum.
Yeah,
Mobile detailers coined that, they called it moneymaker, because they would do paint correction.
Right.
You got to remember, you used to wax a car after you did paint correction because you did rotary and you covered up your swirl marks, right? You don't have to do that now. You just want to put protection on. So they were using Bead Maker as their way to protect cars. And so it took a while for that to gain momentum.
Yeah, so that would be for your $200, $300 wash and wax or wash and seal or something like that, which is infinitely more common than the $2,000 4-step paint correction and 5 coats of whatever, ceramic coating. And so I get why a product like this would make sense. Now, let's talk about it because I'm more interested in it as a topper.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so you were telling me a little bit about some of the testing. I guess somebody did an independent study on a ceramic coating.
Yeah, and he basically found that Bead Maker, we use the term paired, right? It pairs very well. It connects to the coating really well. That's what makes it really, durable. And just so everybody knows, I'm not a chemist, so if we're not going to get
your brother's the chemist.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
I am not. So, but it pairs well with coatings, and actually becomes that sacrificial layer. And because it's durable and pairs well, then it basically can, if you use it often, it will add to the life of a coating.
So application goes like this. In a normal, let's say you're in Wisconsin, right? In the spring, and it's 70 degrees, or I guess it wouldn't be that warm. Bad example. It's 61 degrees.
Right.
It's a nice spring day, late spring. Humidity's 40%, 50%. How are you gonna put that on in a normal, Northeast, Midwest?
A normal environment where Northern California is similar to that. Also, we don't get humidity, so you apply an abundance of product, just enough to get it to where it starts to bead, right? Starts to bead on itself, and then because if you don't put enough on, basically the microfiber towel pulls it all off the paint. So the reason you put enough on is so that you can get a nice even coat. I actually see guys going a little heavy. Like I was reading on the forum, a guy goes, I use 12 ounces to do my car. That's probably a little bit much. 4 or 6 would be optimum.
That's what I was finding. I was finding about 6 ounces on my truck, my Raptor.
Yeah.
So I would use, yay amount on the bottle, up to that point.
So you spread it out. I use a 2-towel method, and towels are an important component, right? Sometimes, in a like for example, in a non-human environment, the plush towel is really fine. But in a human environment, you want a towel that has a little more bite, right? It's going to pick up a little more material.
So we actually want counterintuitive.
Yeah.
We want a lower nap.
Yeah, because
you
want
to
compensate for that humidity.
That's exactly what I found, is that the combination I found best, because part of my washing process is that I will, I'm going to lightly get everything off. But in Florida, we always have bugs left over. And so I'm going to grab those leftover bugs, all the sand and dirt is off the car. And so during the drying process is when I'll lubricate using this. So I kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'll lubricate, I'll get the rest of that bug. So I like to use a heavier, we're using a 400 GSM towel for the initial wipe. And I'm kind of smearing it around, especially on a coating. And then I figured out after the 2nd or 3rd try, is then I go grab a 300 GSM lower nap towel, and then I come and do my final wipes. And I've yet to do it, because it's summertime here, I've yet to do it in a normal environment where it wasn't 88 to 100% humidity.
Right.
So I do find, and some people have complained that you're pushing the stuff around a little bit.
The other technique too that we use a lot, when we're working in direct sunlight, we'll apply the product to the towel, to the first towel, and do that way. That way you can control that application a little bit. and that minimizes. Because one of the things is when you're using Bead Maker, it's trying to accomplish a lot on the paint in a very short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So the chemical itself is kind of on that edge of performance or failure, because it's putting a lot of active on there. That's why everybody likes the experience, right? That's why it's slick. That's why it creates a great gloss. And then all those variables, right? The paint, the temperature, the humidity, the towel, the technique, so there's so many variables that go into it.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it so that it's tricky. And even though Bead Maker, realistically, considering what it's trying to accomplish on the paint, is pretty bomb-proof. It works a high percentage of the time. It doesn't really fail, but it's right on that edge.
So we don't have an issue with, it's not that you can't, like some products you just can use it wrong. So this, the wrong would be you don't put enough on.
Or you adjust how much you put on based on the air, whatever you're accomplishing. Yeah.
Right, but the difficulty at times is, you're dealing in Central Florida, Texas, the Northeast in the summertime after a rain. You're dealing with humidity. You just got to work a little harder.
Exactly.
I mean, my experience was, and there's no sales pitch here. My experience was that I was frustrated putting it on, and I'm like, oh, this freaking sucks. But then I'm telling you, I walk out the next morning and I'm like, holy crap. It's just, it's unexplainably different. It's just, it's not like this transcendent glow you get from, it's just a different look. It's a different, and it's not hydrophobic like a silicon dioxide spray sealant type. It's hydrophobic like a wax or a typical polymer sealant, which I'm never looking for transcendent beads. I just want it to protect and look good.
Right. I find, just an example is, we'll take my personal car, I'll do it, and friends that know my car all the time, they'll walk up and they go, oh wow, what'd you do to your car? It's just like, it adds just that subtle it's more of like a glow or a pop to the finish.
Yeah.
It's not huge. It's just different enough to where you literally walk out to your own car and you go, wow, even my own family, what'd you do to the car? Oh, I just
It's just something a little bit different. It gives me but it doesn't look, I've complained about this often, is, the coating look. Mm-hmm. That coating has a different look that the vast majority of people prefer. Right. Especially the lay person. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just stubborn. I don't like it. I like the look of wax, Carnauba wax.
You like a warmer finish.
Right. Yeah. Rather than that just ridiculous, wet, it looks synthetic to me. I guess a wax is synthetic too, but
I think it's valid, because I can tell you, we have a detail trainer that works for us, Prentice St. Clair. He's been in the industry forever. He's a great guy. And I went over to the class. They had finished the car. I go, wow, what'd you use on the car? He goes, well, you just use, a regular Carnauba wax. I go, wow, it's got a nice warm glow. It's different. It is different. Yeah.
Maybe I need to give up that,
but not all coating. All coatings have different looks, and they're moving towards a warmer finish. I think traditionally now. So they're not all the same.
Yeah, we're getting there, and then this helps aid in that overall look. And so there's lots of other coatings I want to play with and test it on. So tell me how this works. So your brother's the chemist. He dreams up some crap, goes in the lab, starts to mix some crap. I mean, how does that work? I mean, everybody's fascinated by. I know that you're not going to tell me what's in it, but
right.
How does it work? Like, how do you just make a freaking product? And then...
Well, typically, I mean, a lot of this is street smarts, right? I mean, he's been doing it a long time, so he knows what works, what doesn't work, and that's, with any business that you're in, you know what works for your business. He knows what he's going to formulate. Typically, I go to him and I say, hey, you know what? We need this. And then he'll start doing his research.
So you have a wall of raw ingredients?
Sure. Oh, yeah. We're like a large baker. Right? I mean, that's really what we are. We're a large baker. I mean, literally, instead of your warehouse being full of towels, our warehouse is full of barrels and drums. And
can I come out there and show me? You don't have to make like.
It's not that impressive, right? I mean,
I think it is. I think it's more impressive than you guys think it is.
Yeah. So I mean, we're like we're a large bakery is really what we do. We're not baker, but we put stuff in the vat, stir it up, but he's got to know what he's doing. It's the right balance. That's the talent that a formulator has, is he understands what makes the right balance. And then what's also good about my brother Dave is he also is a detailer. Yeah. So, he inherently he has a grasp of what detailers will like.
Because all these companies are giving me the same spiel that they're whipping up their own batch in their back room, which isn't really the case.
Oh, many of them could be. I mean, until you go into somebody's plant, you really never know. But I saw that there was one guy who posted something that said, everything's made in this one place. I'm like, well, no, I don't think that's really the case. But I mean, I know there's a lot of companies that make their own stuff.
Sure. You have all the stuff on the wall. You got a dude that knows what that stuff does. And then he just starts mixing crap up and then comes up with something.
It's a little similar to what you do. So if you're looking for fittings, you go out to the industry, you go, hey, I'm looking for this. You start talking to people, right? So he'll talk to the suppliers and go, hey, I'm looking for this, right? What fits this niche? And he's got long-standing relationships in the industry. So they'll go, hey, Dave, you should try this. So he literally orders in samples of things and then builds from that arsenal. So his cabinet is, in his lab is, he's got a couple of cabinets that have just little bottles of stuff, right? So he's just he builds a recipe.
So how does he learn? Where did he learn that? Your dad started the business years ago?
My dad started the business. I started working for my dad because I was one of those kids when I graduated from high school. I went to junior college. I played football. But after that, I didn't know what I was going to do. He says, well, why don't you come work for me? I said, great, right? So that was fantastic. My brother got involved. He went to UC Davis. He was actually a wildlife biologist with a sub-chemistry major, but he didn't want to go to work for the federal government, so he went to work for my dad. And then we wrote a business plan to build a new manufacturing plant in 1990, and then we did it. And then, a lot of it is just self-education.
So the business started on making large scale chemicals for car washes and stuff like that.
That's still our core business is the industrial side. So car dealerships, car washes, things like that. Yeah, still our core business, but that's changing right. And now, if you don't change, I mean, things change in 6 months, a year now. You got to change your business model and we've been doing that with Double Black and things like that are allowing us to be more visible.
So there's the Double Black line, and is there a P&S specific line?
We call it our Pro Series. It's our legacy line of products that we've had for, not all forever, but I mean, because we're adding new products to that line also.
So is this the newest one?
I would say Bead Maker's newer. I'm trying to think, do we have anything? We're working on some other stuff that hasn't been. We're coming out with a fabric coating soon. Our Inspiration coating is probably newer. That's only about 1.5 years old. And we kind of got into the coating business.
What is that? A silicone dioxide, titanium dioxide based?
Yeah, it's a nice coating. I mean, we're doing it because we get a lot of demand for a nice coating. So we made really a very user friendly coating to apply. But there are companies that are light years ahead of us in terms of coating because they've been doing it a lot longer. Not that we don't have the knowledge, but we don't have the time in the market. So we're playing catch up, right? Because I mean, a lot of these companies, G-Technique, Ceramic Pro, these are name brands. OptiCoat, they've been doing it a long time.
Right, they've had it out in the wild, and then they can fix problems.
Right. I mean, we came out with our first generation of coating. We had it for 4 months, and then we reformulated. We came out with our Gen 2. Because what's interesting is the group of detailers that we work with, if they like something, they tell me. But because they're close to me, if they don't like something, it's crickets. Right, so I got crickets on the first one, so we better change that. And
that means you're a nice guy, Otherwise, they'd tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been my experience. Detailers will tell you.
I've watched your forum. They don't hold back on anything. Yeah.
So this is a polymer monomer sealant.
That would be correct. Right. Yeah.
Monomer meaning it's a single compound. I guess we'd need to get your brother on.
I would hate this. I'm going to step on it, and then he's going to go, "Why'd you say that?" Right? I'm like, I shouldn't say that.
We'll save that for another day. We'll get him on a podcast.
He'd love
or something.
It. Yeah.
He can tell us about what it's made out of, what to do, and how to use it. So, anyway, this wasn't planned. You're in town for a boat show.
Yep.
And I just so happened to come up here, and I begged him to hey, let's get on camera and let's talk a little bit about the product. So. Bead Maker, I'll eventually get out of them what it's made out of at some point. So thanks for your time.
Thanks, Matt.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
What happened? happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.